I'm doing something a little bit different on Aquaholic today. We're looking at the new Pearl 63, but I thought it'd be interesting to look at it with Ian Smallbridge. Hello, Ian.
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. Now, just to introduce Ian, Ian is the man behind Pearl. You're the guy that started it all up, aren't you?
Yes, certainly am.
And your history is in yacht skippering, I believe, prior to that.
Yes, yeah. Before my yacht building days, I was a captain. So I captained various yachts from 50 to probably 100 feet.
Right.
Over about an 8 or 10 year period.
Okay.
And we started building yachts in 1997. We launched the first Pearl yacht in '98.
Brilliant.
But yeah, prior to that, my background was in engineering and in crewing and skippering.
Fantastic. And I think that's relevant purely because of your experience of having done all this. You're coming at this from a different angle to a lot of people who design boats who often haven't even been on them. So it's, you know, you sometimes find things and you think, well, the guy who put that there has never done boating.
Yeah, I guess so. And I head up the design and development departments of Pearl. So,
right.
And we work with our team of designers, our naval architects in Dixon Yacht Design, and our interiors from Kelly Hoppen.
Yep.
But I work with them on every element of the design. And yes, I guess a lot of those features and the way that we structure things and build things is as a result of my experience of using boats in the way that we all us boaters use them.
Brilliant. Well, let's take a look on board and maybe you can have a chat through and explain some of that to us. Explain also the changes, because this is based, I think, on the Pearl 62.
Yes, it's an evolution of the Pearl 62, which has been our most popular boat ever. We've sold over 25 Pearl 62s from 2020 until today, and we've retained all of those best-selling features of the Pearl 62, which made the Pearl 62 such a popular boat. It's a great family boat, it's a great owner-operator boat. And the main features of the 62 were it's the only yacht in its class to have 4 guest cabins,
right?
3 en suites. So in terms of accommodation, it's as good as it gets in class. In addition to that, we've incorporated a garage in the Pearl 62 and now the Pearl 63, which is again unique in this sector of the market. So we've retained those features as well as the full length Flybridge, etc. And we've added a few more bits. And yeah, it's an evolution of the 62, but
perfect.
It sort of builds on that. So.
Excellent. Let's go and have a look. So it's a 62 turned up to 11.
Yes, exactly.
Alrighty. So this looks fairly familiar to me.
This is one of the this style that we've used on our recent launches, the Pearl 72 and the Pearl 82.
Yep.
But it's one of the big design feature changes on the 63.
Right.
This cockpit space has sort of changed from being a conventional U-shaped seating area with a dining table,
yep,
to more of a multifunctional entertainment area. So
Brill.
Low coffee tables that convert and raise up to a full dining table.
Yep. So they unfold basically and meet in the middle.
Exactly. They show you how they operate. Somehow.
Don't worry, we can edit this out later. Okay.
So they fold and then they raise up.
Yep. Gotcha.
And the other table does the same.
Of course.
You can convert this from a relaxing entertainment area into a full dining area relatively easily. But also this features the side folding bulwarks, which we now have as an option, which is one of the new features, and it's become a really popular feature on some of our other models. When you're at anchor, the seat cushion folds over, as you can see, or turns around, and it just creates such a feeling of more space. I mean, you can see how this feels compared to how that side feels.
Yeah.
It just gives you that connection with the sea, and it's great when you've got kids jumping off, but it also just gives you that feeling of space. So it's become a really popular feature on our other models. So we naturally thought we'd incorporate it on this.
Fantastic. And then heading on in, it looks like this has changed a bit.
Yes, I mean one of the nice features of the 62 that we retained, obviously, the galley open to the cockpit, so that this whole area becomes much more usable and much more sociable. Again, from a family environment, it works really well. But it's been it's been restyled internally. We now have a full dining table opposite the galley, and then further forward we've just restyled the seating areas to bring it up to date really, and more in line with the rest of the boats.
And this is one of the various interior schemes that you can have.
So this one is called Indulgence, which is one of our Kelly Hoppen interior design schemes. Any of our models can be specified with any of the Kelly Hoppen themes. So we have Modern, which is a light oak with dark fittings that you've tested before. This Indulgence, which is a bit more contemporary with the light and the dark grey, and then we do a more classic dark wood with stainless steel fittings. So the idea is that the customers can choose the style that best suits them without having to go through and choose materials. It's all done for them, and it's a designer interior, and they just choose which one they want. So.
Cool, fair enough. And then ahead of here, this is fairly similar to before, I think?
Yes, I mean the area itself is, as I say, we've increased the dining space and slightly reduced this forward area, but this is an area that I think the lounge part of these boats is only used in certain climates, obviously, and in certain weathers. But when you need to use it, it needs to be comfortable, it needs to be functional. So a really nice sofa area opposite a drop-down TV. But one of the features that we've designed is that these seats come out from there, and they can then move up to the coffee table if you're playing cards.
Yep.
Or they can move down to the dining table when you're dining, or out to the cockpit if you're seating area there. So
nice.
Trying to make the most of the usable space, and of course it takes away the need to have lots of chairs that need to be stored in and around the boat. So it's got a nice little feature.
Excellent. High-low TV, of course.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And we have a side door and access out from the helm onto the side decks and onto the foredeck.
Yeah, that's something you see less of at this size.
Yes, I think so, and I think it's handy if you're boating in the UK, or if you're in colder climates where you use the inner helms a lot more.
Yeah.
And if you're anchoring, but also in the med, it's a nice flow of air coming through without having to have the air conditioning on. So it's a popular option that a lot of customers specify.
Yeah, excellent.
And this is another one of our Pearl's sort of design features that you see on most of our models. This sort of double windscreen style, which gives a lot of light into the saloon area. We see that on all of our new models. And then there's blinds that, as and when it gets a bit hot, we pull the blind down and give you some protection. But in days like this, where it's a bit cloudy, it's nice to get that sunlight in.
Brightens it all up, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. Let's head on down, shall we? Or should we look at the helm first? Is there anything at the helm we need to see? That's probably, I guess, fairly unchanged, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same as its predecessor.
Yeah.
I think the one thing we should say is that the Pearl 63 and its predecessor 62 were always on IPS. So this boat's been designed around the IPS. And it's part of the reason that we get so much accommodation. You'll see as we go through the boat.
Yeah, because putting the engines right at the back, isn't it?
Exactly, and the pods after the engines, which mean that, as you say, the engine room can be further aft, which gives us more space internally for the accommodation. And again, one of the features that helps this be such a good owner-operator boat is the IPS.
Yeah.
The joystick manoeuvrability that I'm sure you and your viewers know much about just makes manoeuvring and driving a boat like this a little bit less daunting. We've also got thrusters on this boat, so it's got a bow thruster, dual screen navigation system by Garmin, autopilot. We have a Volvo Interceptor trim system, so everything that you need.
Perfect. Jolly good. Right, after you.
So down forward, we have two stairs down to the guest accommodation, one forward and one aft.
Mm-hmm.
So down this forward section, we have 3 guest cabins off of this area, and again I think the first thing you notice here is how light it is as you come down into this cabin, into this corridor rather, and that's partly from these windscreens and partly from the width that we've gained. But forward you'll see a VIP double cabin with ensuite. One thing we do with all of our boats is really try and maximise on the storage space that we know as boaters are so important. So everywhere you look, we've tried to incorporate as much available storage as you can. His and her wardrobes, or her and her wardrobes.
You have to be very careful these days.
and yeah, nicely appointed ensuite.
Lovely. Very nice.
And then we have a mirror unit which secretly houses the TV, but it doubles up rather than being a big TV on display. It's quite a nice feature.
Excellent. Good.
And then, so if you come back in the corridor, you'll see. So this is the day head,
right?
But it's also interlinked to the port cabin, so it acts as an ensuite to the port cabin. And then the starboard cabin shares this same head.
Very good. Okay.
One thing you note in these cabins is the head height for getting this size of boat. You get a lot of volume. You don't feel in any way restricted or limited.
And that's the door there through to the heads. Excellent. Jolly good. And oh, try again. There we go.
And this is mirrored, so it's an identical cabin.
Very good, very good. And this one shares that head.
Yes, this shares the day head and the port head. So 3 en suites.
Yeah.
Ensuite for the VIP cabin, ensuite for the master, ensuite for the port cabin, and then the 4th cabin shares the day head.
Perfect. Jolly good.
Have a quick look in the galley before we go back down to the master cabin. So I mean, fully functional galley as you'd expect, with a large fridge and freezer, all with the important champagne inboard. All the appliances are Miele, but we incorporate a couple of nice touches like this sort of pull-out unit just to maximise the space in the corner there.
Excellent.
A dishwasher and even a waste bin incorporated in there, and then dedicated storage for all of the cutlery and crockery.
Oh, nice.
Everywhere has a place.
Yeah.
And then the final cabin, we always leave the best till last. So this is a separate entrance for the owner, opposite ends of the boat from the forward guest cabin, that gives you maximum privacy, and it's full beam. So have a look down there.
Yeah, that is a decent space, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? I mean, it's not only is it, you know, I'm 6 foot, nearly 6'2" like you, so you can see we've got, you know, more than sufficient headroom. But it's beautifully appointed, isn't it? I think this sort of really highlights the Kelly Hoppen design, probably more than anywhere on the boat. Just the finish in the materials and the material, the joinery used. Nice little seating area. To have a coffee in the morning, or probably more realistically do some work. Again, his and her wardrobes, and then you have the dressing table over on the port side. There's also a hidden washing machine, washer dryer actually, in there, which is handy to have if you've got 8 guests on board.
Yeah, of course.
And then the ensuite, which is a good size.
Excellent. Let's come right back. There we go. And what is this wood?
This is I mean, now a lot of the joinery we use, rather than using real veneers, because veneers fade, and then where you have a joint with solid wood and a veneer fitting, you get difference in grain. So this is called a real wood veneer. There's several companies that make it, and they basically take real timber and they mulch it and they dye it, and then they reproduce a perfect grain from real wood. So it is a real wood, but it's a manufactured real wood.
Got you.
And you can have it in all sorts of colours and grains, and we find it's much more, it suits this environment much better, so that it doesn't shrink or fade, and it's much more longer lasting. And of course you can choose colours that you wouldn't normally be able to choose through natural wood.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Excellent.
Should we go up and have a look on the Flybridge?
Absolutely.
After you.
Thank you.
This is normally where we get the wow when we do a tour with clients, because nobody expects it to have as much accommodation down there and then again up here.
Yeah, it's a good length, isn't it?
You agree. This is a really great space. So we've got a wet bar with all of the features you'd expect from a yacht like this, with a barbecue, ice maker, drinks fridge in here. This is one of my favourite things that we incorporate in all of our models now, which is a big cool box.
Oh, okay.
Because you just get so much more storage and so much easier to use than some of these fridges.
Yeah.
With beers or soft drinks or wine or anything, it's much more usable than fiddling around in a fridge. We do have a fridge as well, but maybe that's more for food. This is more for the important stuff.
Understood.
And then you'll see this huge opening above us. This is the sunroof.
Yep.
With a canvas roof which you can close with the touch of a button. And then the helm station, which is a repeat of the lower helm. We don't have a primary or secondary helm. Everything is featured on both helms, so you'll find exactly the same systems and controls here. And then this little corner seat, which I kind of rather like, because when you're underway on a boat like this, cruising in day or at night, you know, it's not just the helmsman and the co-pilot that want to look forward. The rest of the guests like to look forward. So this is quite a nice area where 4 or 5 people can look forward. And there's also a nice little feature there. This pulls out, and there's a cushion somewhere over here. This cushion fits in, and you can lie down there underway looking forward with the wind in your hair. So it's
nice.
Yeah, it works really well. And then of course the dining table. So this is the third dining table on the boat.
Yes, of course.
The aft deck ones that convert from the coffee table, the internal dining table, and then here there is one more which we'll come to in a minute. But,
Okay.
So you have various decisions to make in terms of where you're going to dine. And this. We're just trying a new ensign.
Right, okay.
We're featuring here today, which we've had made. So then on the aft end of the Flybridge, there's various configurations customers can choose here. This is one of the most popular, with a sunbed and a corner seat, or you can choose a corner seat on both sides without the sunbed, or you can have freestanding furniture.
Okay, excellent.
Either one of those configurations gives you another area. I think one of the things a lot of our owners say about the Pearl 62 previously and now this, the 63, is how many different zones you have on the boat. So
yeah.
You know, the interior, we talked about the cockpit area, which is a really nice entertaining space. This, which is a really good entertaining space. And then the last one we're going to have a look now up on the foredeck.
Perfect. Okay, I'll follow you.
Go around the port side, give me a quick opportunity to show you what we have here. A bit of storage for glasses and crockery normally, with a nod on the boat show. The all-important third station, which is handy obviously when you're mooring stern to like this in the Mediterranean. It's really handy to have. And then as we go up the side decks, we have these side gates either side, both on port and starboard. Substantial stainless steel, as you'll notice through the boat.
Yeah, it's high as well, isn't it?
We have oval top rail. I don't think it's 2-inch, and we have that featured on all of our boats, from the 82 that we can see over there, the Pearl 72, and this one.
Yep.
We always make sure that we overbuild the stainless. It gives that feeling of a well-built product, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally.
And here, this is probably my favourite zone on the whole boat, because when you're in port like we are now, this is, you know, a bit more privacy here. Quiet time. If the kids are all playing back there, you can be on board and read your book and have a glass of wine. and it's a lovely area to be when you're at anchor. You always get a breeze coming through, and this is shown here with the table in position, but it also very quickly folds away. Most of the time it will be just a nice seating area, somewhere to sit and chat.
Yep.
And we have the headrest that folds up for sunbathing, and then the bimini that you can see above us.
And that's a hatch presumably over the forward cabin.
Sorry.
The hatch underneath here.
It's an escape, escape hatch for the forward VIP cabin.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Perfect.
And then we have storage bins either side for ropes, fenders, covers, etc.
Yep.
And then we have a big fender locker forward here, which is the anchor chain locker, and then a shelf for the fender. You can see how well finished the boat is just on areas like this.
And stainless steel anchor chain by the looks of it.
Yes, yeah, we've fit stainless steel anchor chain.
Wow.
Standard, and this features the ultra anchor, which is a really popular option on our boats.
I have one on my own boat.
Do you? They're great, aren't they?
Yeah, they are good.
I mean, the dragging of anchor and the warrior overnight anchoring of the boat drifting is these certainly reduce that massively, and they're really popular.
Yeah. Brill. Okay, should we go back down this side?
Yep.
It's actually started raining now. You can probably see on the deck here. We're in Palma, in the Mediterranean, so that we've got the good weather. And instead I've brought the British weather with us. Apparently in the UK it's lovely at the moment, so that's nice.
So that's right to the engine room from the cockpit side here.
Yep.
As I say, this features the IPS 1350s. One of the other upgrades on the Pearl 63 is the new IPS 1350.
Okay.
It's a 1,000 horsepower engine that will give a maximum speed of up to 35 knots.
Wow.
So 61-foot boat with all that accommodation, all those features.
Yeah.
It's still almost 35 knots on test. So
Wasn't expecting that.
have a look down there, see what you think.
Okay. There we go. IPS 1350 as promised. Generator on that side. It's changed to an Aquaholic tour suddenly, isn't it? There we go. Some neat plumbing up over there. And then we've got the pods back here. That's back underneath the garage. Excellent, jolly good. That's that. There we go. So what sort of range are we getting with those and cruising speeds?
I don't have the fuel economy figures with me, but approximately, did some tests last week, and we're at about 250 litres per hour at a cruising speed of about 24-25 knots.
Right.
And she carries about 2,700 litres of fuel. So
okay.
We do the maths. What's that? 250 to 300 miles. That's a fast cruise.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you reduce that down to slower speeds, the range increases. But
of course.
250 to 300 miles is what most customers want to achieve at a fast cruise.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Good stuff. Right. What else have we got? Garage?
Yes. Let's show you the garage.
Okay.
So a big selling point of this boat is the garage. Whether you use it for a jet ski, a tender, just for storage, there's also an option to have it specified as a crew cabin.
Okay.
With a different moulding and a single door. The majority of the Pearl 62s were specified with the garage. And the 63 garage, we've increased the size a little bit, and we now can incorporate a Williams 280 mini jet.
Okay.
Which I think is a perfect match for this sort of boat. Great for kids to drive, nice and safe, good fun, and acts as a good tender for 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
And of course it means it can stow in the garage neatly with nothing on the bathing platform, which is preferential. Otherwise, if somebody wants jet ski and a tender, you can have a Sea-Doo in the garage and a larger tender on the bathing platform.
Okay.
And this bathing platform is hydraulically operated, so it extends out and lowers down into the water to launch the tender.
Right. Fantastic. And you finding the majority of these are owner-operator then?
Yes. Yes, I think the majority. It's as I say, it's a great family boat.
Yeah.
You know, with the 4 cabins, with a a traditional family plus some friends, and we find that it's with the IPS, with the joystick control, the DPS position feature, which is a great feature of the IPS, means that a couple can handle this boat, on their own without the need for crew.
Yeah.
But having said that, there is still the opportunity to specify with the crew cabin as a charter boat with a single crew and 4 guest cabins.
Yeah.
It's quite a popular charter boat. So certain markets would specify crew. And the one thing we do find with the 62 and the 63 is this sells worldwide. We sell these models in everywhere from Europe to the US to Australasia. We've got one going out to Thailand soon, so there's a market for this style of boat worldwide.
Brilliant. Ian, that's been fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great to have you.
And you. There we go, guys. Something a little bit different. Let me know what you think of that one. We might see if we can do some more of these, but I thought it'd be interesting to do a tour with Ian there. So let us know what you think. Thanks for watching. Massive thanks to Pearl Yachts, of course, and we'll catch you on another one of these real soon. Take care. Bye bye.